Is this thing on? Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Mick, what are you doing back again? You've already reacted to the crypto reveal. Let me explain to you why. Movies TV Mad, which is me, whether I'm here on YouTube, Threads, Instagram, X, Twitter, wherever. I've always wanted to be a constructive guy, and I feel I am a constructive guy that puts both sides of the argument out there, and that's what I'm back to do. Because earlier on, when I made the first reaction video about the crypto reveal, I was very hyped, I was very positive. I still feel that way, but there were some things I wasn't aware of. I didn't really notice that crypto doesn't look like the way he does in the comics. And I wanted to address that. What I like to do as a YouTuber and a movie pundit is look at what everyone is saying, not so I can copy what they say. My opinions are my opinions. I'm a very original, random guy, as you all know. But I saw what Campia said. I saw what Aaron Fisher said. Now, Aaron Fisher is a very biased Snyder fan. Here at Movies TV Mad, we're not here for Zack channel, platform. I love Zack Snyder. I love the Snyderverse. I love Zack. I absolutely do. I'm not here for James Gunn channel either. I'm a DC fan, I'm a movie fan, I'm a TV fan, I'm a fan of entertainment, right? I was brought up around the industry, so I get it, but I also get fandom because I'm a fan as well. And I kind of thought to myself, as I found out all this kind of new information about crypto, for example, not looking like crypto, and what James said about his motivations of putting crypto in the movie, what I wanted to do was read out what James had to say and then kind of react to that. Because I'm sure when I was being so positive, I was annoying certain sections of the fandom. Maybe you thought I was being a bit of a shill. I'm not a shill, you know that. But yesterday I was feeling down and I saw that crypto reveal and I was happy. I felt uplifted, even though I love what Snyder did. I love what Donna did. I'm always interested in new, fresh takes of these DC characters that I love. And I don't think being optimistic and colourful is bad. I don't think being dark and compelling is bad. Give it to me. And here's the thing I've always said about Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder can only be Zack Snyder. Matt Reeves can only be Matt Reeves. And James Gunn can only be James Gunn. James Gunn was always going to be doing the kind of things that he's always done. That's who James Gunn is, right? So let me read what he had to say. If this stupid phone doesn't switch off, it's crap. Anyway, right, let's give it a read. Crypto arrives on screens in Superman this summer. Crypto was inspired by our dog, Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 50 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. It took a long time before he would even let us touch him. I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus Crypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story as Ozu was changing my life. What better time to debut than Not So Good Boy Crypto, then Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. So, by the way, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy. Now, for me, James Gunn was always going to give us a version of Crypto in his DCU, in his Superman movie. Or at least in the DCU. Now, I heard rumours originally that Crypto would debut in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I think he is going to be in that film somehow. I think so. Anyway, they're the rumours. Let's put this down and let's get into this. So, at the end of the day, right, people are very, very upset that Crypto doesn't look like Crypto. So let me address that. So he does look like an ordinary kind of shabby dog more than a super dog, more than the design of the comics. Again, I'm fine with that. Let's go back to Superman 78. Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor is more like a Bond villain than the version of the comics that was about of Lex back then. Back then, he was a mad scientist. Well, Lex Luthor in Superman 78, he's very jokey, he's very campy, but he is a bad guy, and he's doing bad things, but he isn't the comic book Lex Luthor. Did people hate the movie for that? No. There's so many things, comparisons I can give you, where the characters in live action look or act nothing like they do in the comics. So I don't really have an issue with that. And then people were saying, oh, you know, it's always about James Gunn, because when he announced Superman, he was talking about his father who passed away. Look, James Gunn is trying to make things personal, right? Because that's a good thing. It gives you more motivation to make a better movie. There's nothing wrong with him, you know, talking about his late father. There's nothing wrong with him saying, a dog that I adopted inspired Krypto. But what's interesting about what he's saying is, we're going to see kind of a mischievous, naughty Krypto in this movie that maybe Superman is going to have trouble taming. And that brings a lot of fun and comedy. But also, this is going to be about the friendship between Superman and Krypto. And I think a lot of people, a lot of comic book fans, find that heartwarming. Because James Gunn, one of the themes of all James Gunn comic book movies are friendship. And there's nothing wrong with that. He has some friends that he has around him. He knows Hollywood isn't a very trustworthy place, so he works with the same people all the time. You know, another example of that is Christopher Nolan. He uses the same people because you've got to work with people that you trust. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But where is this backlash coming from? Is it DC fans? No, it's Snyder fans. Let's be clear about this. Snyder fans are going to use anything they can to criticize James Gunn with. I'm a fan of Zack Snyder, I already said it. I'm a fan of the Snyderverse, but I'm not a biased here for Zack fan. So I'm very, very happy that Krypto will be in this movie. Now, it was interesting, some of the stuff Campier was saying about the Krypto reveal. He said he loves James Gunn, he loves his movies, he trusts James Gunn, he's all for the colourful DC Universe and Superman movie. John Campier is a big Man of Steel fan as well, by the way. But he said he was a little bit worried that it would become too zany and too campy. I am personally not concerned about that. As I've said many times, we don't know if it's going to be a good movie, a bad movie, a mid-movie. We just don't know. We also don't know if this is going to be the movie that people want to see. And we don't know because we're not, we can't predict the future if this movie is going to make any money. Who could have predicted that Joker Folie en Deux was going to be as big a failure as it was? Now, we all knew it wouldn't make $1 billion. We didn't think people would hate it as much as they have. I love the movie, as you already know. So, audiences are very, very unpredictable. So, I don't mind James Gunn making it about him. I don't mind that Krypto looks different, and I'm very happy that he's a super dog from another planet. I don't think this film's going to be all about Krypto, but there's going to be an element of this film, about the friendship between Krypto and Superman. And that's a good thing. But there's going to be other relationships like Superman and Clark and Jimmy Olsen. I hope he adapts that really well as well and makes Jimmy Olsen an important character. And that friendship between Clark, Jimmy, Superman and Jimmy, quite important too. But I think he will, because as I say, the themes in James Gunn's comic book movies are always about friendship. I haven't seen a bad James Gunn comic book movie before. I have loved them all. But I've also enjoyed Snyder's 3 DC movies. I enjoyed Watchmen, which is also actually kind of sorts a DC movie. I like what Snyder does. And a certain amount of the audience like what Snyder did with DC. And they did okay money, but they didn't bring in the money that the studio wanted. And there was so much backlash. So I can only tell you what I see. Now, how the Snyderverse fans feel is important because they're a section of the audience. You know, I know most of them say they're going to boycott this film, but it's obvious that some will go and see this film, right? But what's important with this reveal, what James Gunn has said, and the reason I'm doing another video is because I didn't read that out, and I wanted to give you more details about this reveal because it's kind of a big reveal, is that, you know, families, kids and parents, as I said in my first reaction to this, are going to see this. You know, that Krypto's going to be this mischievous dog that Superman has to tame, house train in a way to stop him being such a nightmare because Krypto isn't used to people. So he's basically adapting Krypto from an inspiration from his own dog. And I think that's kind of cool and that's kind of good. So for me, this Krypto reveal, or that he doesn't look like Krypto, or that he's even using Krypto, I don't see this as a bad thing like John Campea does. I'm not worried about that. I'm not concerned about that. Because I'll say again, James Gunn can only be James Gunn. He was always going to go this way because this is what James Gunn does. Whether it's successful or not remains to be seen. I think people need to calm down their anger. As I say, I saw Aaron Fisher's quick reaction to the reveal. I'm not surprised, but I don't really... Look, I watch his videos. He's a good YouTuber, and he gets a lot more views than I do. So, I mean, personally, I think I'm better looking than Aaron, but obviously it's not about looks, is it? I'm joking. But the point being, right, that I try to be constructive, as I've already said, constructive. And I mean, Aaron is the guy who thinks the Batman 2 won't make as much money as the first Batman movie. Well, Aaron, you've already said, mate, that the Penguin is brilliant, which proves, the Penguin's popularity proves people are interested in Matt's Batman crime saga. So I believe the Batman 2 will make more money than the first Batman. And what's interesting right now, because I spoke about this the other day, we may as well get into this as well while I'm here. There's rumours that Batman the Brave and the Bold, or Brave and the Bold, is going to be cancelled and is not going to happen. This is very interesting. The other day, James Gunn, as I said, because I'll repeat what I said, James Gunn said that the only things in pre-production are Lanterns and Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And then he went on, and a day later, to clarify the situation and say, just because it's been announced doesn't mean it's going to be made, right? If a script's not done right, it won't be made. By the way, this is not a bad thing that James is saying, but I'll repeat what I said the other day. James, you could have saved yourself a lot of trouble if you didn't announce a slate before you released Superman and saw how that film was going to do. And I'm surprised Peter Safran, an experienced producer, didn't temper your excitement here. You can have your slate behind closed doors without announcing it. So now you've announced a slate like the DCEU did. Now half the slate, most of the slate the DCEU announced, we never even freaking saw. And they kept on changing their slate all the time, didn't they? Because, you know, their films were divisive and some of them didn't make the money that they wanted it to make, as we've already discussed. So don't announce a bloody slate until you're sure. Don't announce a slate. That's the best thing. You have your slate. You announce the movies when you're ready. I've already discussed this. So it was a mistake of James Gunn and Peter Safran to publicly announce a slate. Excuse me for that motorbike. I think it's the postman. But anyway, we continue. So that was a mistake. So I've spoken about the situation with Brave and the Bold before, but we'll discuss it again anyway. Right, something very suspicious has been going on with this movie for a long time. Now, I told you when this movie was announced, you can't have two Batmen. It won't work. I'm surprised they announced Brave and the Bold in the first place. Now, Brave and the Bold sounds like an excellent movie, an excellent idea, and having Damian Wayne as the Robin of that movie in the DCU sounds brilliant. To have a fantastical Batman sounds brilliant because we've always had grounded Batman movies, and it's about time we got a bit fantastical. But you can't have two Batmen in live action. It simply won't work. And it looks like now they're looking at the situation and they're thinking, oh, hang on a minute. Because as you can see, Matt Reeves and James Gunn are working together very, very closely. Unlike Todd Phillips and James Gunn, who clearly haven't got a great relationship, and Todd Phillips is going to go away from DC. That's sad and both good at the same time, I suppose. So as their relationship gets closer and they produce more titles together, I mean, they've already kind of announced that Bane and Deathstroke movie, which is very exciting. So they're going to be working together quite a lot. I think within the coming weeks, they will announce that Brave and the Bold is not going to happen. I think they'll pick their time. Brave and the Bold won't happen, and they're going to embrace Matt Reeves' Pattinson. Now, how will that look? I've spoken about maybe Robert Pattinson's Batman joining the DCU, or remaining as an Elseworld Batman and just letting Matt keep on developing his crime saga. So it's either one thing or the other, but I think they've looked at it. I think they've obviously looked at it and they thought to themselves, we can't have two Batmen. It was a mistake announcing this movie. Like I've just said, it was a mistake announcing this huge slate. Because if the scripts ain't right, as James has said, it ain't going to happen. So why announce the slate in the first place? I know why, to create hype. But the problem with slates, movies can go wrong. Pictures can go wrong. Scripts can go wrong. It can all go wrong because it's all a work in progress. So you never announce a long slate. It's a mistake. Look at what's happened with Kevin Feige now in the MCU. You know, they've had to make huge changes. They're going to have to change that slate one way or the other. They already have in a way, haven't they, with those two new Avengers movies that they're going to make. You just look fucking stupid at the end of the day. So ultimately, for me, and this is just my attitude, don't announce the slate. Ain't a good idea. So what I'm thinking right now is that this is not going to happen. Brave and the Bold isn't going to happen. That's sad, and they're going to stick with Matt Reeves' crime saga. I think personally, that's a very good idea. Now, whether Matt Reeves' crime saga becomes a part of DCU or it doesn't remains to be seen. In a way, it doesn't matter. What do I think? Yes, I think Matt Reeves' crime saga will be part of the DCU.